Trump has a strong lead in the state of Arizona. As it stands, the 538 model gives Donald Trump a 60% chance at winning the 2024 presidential election in the state of Arizona. So, Arizona in 2020 went to Joe Biden by 0.3%. It was rated a toss up leading into the election. Some organizations even had it leaning Democratic. This time around, it's a toss up, but some organizations are rating it leaning Republican. On screen for you, I have a map of the election as currently perceived by most people. Wisconsin, Georgia flipping, and Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Nevada staying in the Democratic column. Now, obviously, this is a lot of assumptions, but based off of these assumptions and that the map does fall out this way, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris will both be depending on Arizona to get themselves into the White House for 2025 onwards. So let's start with the numbers now that we know the importance of the state. Right now, Trump leads the aggregate by 2%. It's important to remember that at the same time, in 2020, Biden was overestimated by almost 4 points. So we could be looking at a scenario where Trump's lead is even larger than the 2% that it says. Although this is not always how it ends up being. You can't take past poll misses and apply them to the current election. It doesn't work like that. We tried to do that in 2022 and it completely backfired, such as in Wisconsin, where Ron Johnson was up by 4 in the polls and we said he could win by a even bigger margin. And where Tony Evers was down by 1 and we said he would lose by 2 or 3 points because of the way Wisconsin polling works, where Republicans are normally underestimated by 5, 6, even 10%. So, looking at the polls, Biden Harris is down by 2%. So obviously that's not a great sign for her. Now, if we look at the last two elections and continue the trends relative to the nation, in 2024, Arizona will vote 3% to the right of the nation. Now, currently, the national aggregate is at 2.4%. Kamala Harris has a 2.4% advantage in the national popular vote, according to polling, which in 2022 was historically accurate on the national level. Now, people might be confused by this as Arizona is a blue trending state. And we saw that in 2022 with Kari Lake losing to Katie Hobbs and Blake Masters falling to Mark Kelly by 5%. Now, one of the key reasons that Trump could flip Arizona is shifting demographics, particularly Hispanic voters. So, Republicans have made notable improvements with Hispanic voters in recent elections, especially in Florida, but also in Arizona and Texas and other states with large Hispanic populations. And Arizona is one of those. And it's so significant of a population that even a modest gain amongst Hispanic voters could be enough to swing the state altogether. And while it's true there may be a leftward swing in Maricopa County because of the trends of white suburban voters, there could be enough of Hispanic movement to offset those trends. So let's not forget that Kari Lake did lose by 0.3%, but she was a weaker candidate than Donald Trump. She, especially now in her Senate race, she comes across as very, very aggressive, very sort of uh, almost insane. I don't know if I would use that, but that is a term that has been floated. So Trump, with his established base in Arizona, obviously there is some hatred towards Trump amongst Republicans. Arizona is a neoconservative state, especially with John McCain being elected. But when we say it's a neoconservative state, I think we're misunderstanding what that means. I don't think the Republican base is as neoconservative as you would think, especially seeing it's nominated Kari Lake twice now. What I mean by it's a neoconservative state is that the median voter is probably more of a neoconservative. We've seen this because they've, nominated John McCain John McCain was from there. He was the president nominee for the Republican Party in 2008. And Arizonans don't like Donald Trump when he is disrespecting the legacy of John McCain. They don't like it when Kari Lake did it. So there are voters there that we've talked about in 2016 and 2020 that otherwise would have voted for the Republican nominee against Biden or against Clinton. But maybe this time, instead of voting for Biden, they stay home, or instead of staying home, they go out and vote for Trump. Now, why would they do this? Well, it's one key issue. It's immigration. Immigration is the biggest issue in Arizona. It's the only state of the 7 swing states where the economy is not the dominant concern. So in Arizona, immigration is the biggest issue. According to polling by Emerson College, 30% of voters rank immigration as their top priority. And that's an issue where Donald Trump has a commanding lead. We know this from polling, and obviously Trump's hardline stance on the border. And it's resonating with many Arizonans. And another factor to consider is the low approval rating of the Biden administration, even with people that voted for him in 2020. Biden's approval rating is the lowest of any of the 7 swing states in Arizona. It's hit 36%. That distrust in the administration, dislike, paints a path for Donald Trump to get back some of those white suburban voters in Maricopa County that have been trending Democratic in North Carolina, Virginia, and think Northern Virginia, the suburbs in Atlanta, but have swung so rapidly to the left over the last 5-10 years. Think of those voters might be coming back to Donald Trump, specifically in Arizona, because of immigration. It is such a big issue there. No other state has it as the number one issue. No other state has it, I think, even number 2. So it's really, really obvious how important it is to Arizonans. However, it goes without saying, there are obviously going to be challenges for Trump. It's a blue trending state. Maricopa County is blue trending. The Arizona Republican Party is incompetent at the moment. It's struggling with organization. Another factor is abortion. Abortion is on the ballot in Arizona, which could energize Democratic voters or even just get people thinking about the issue which Kamala Harris has a commanding lead on. So Donald Trump has a commanding lead according to 538, aggregate 2%. But Arizona is a toss up. It's a battleground state. It's a 50-50, 55-45 if you want to go that. Donald Trump will probably either win the state by 2 or lose the state by 2 within those 4% margins. But as it stands, it is a toss up. But at the moment, I put it into the tilting Republican category. I'm on 270 to win, so I can't give it a tilt. But Donald Trump, currently the favorite to win Arizona, based off the low approval for the Biden administration, immigration being the largest issue, and Hispanic voters trending Republican. So I hope that paints the picture of the issues and the complex nature of how Arizona could swing in 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We're going to be going scorched earth on content over the next 15 to 20 days for the 2024 presidential election. So thank you and goodbye.